Every time I hear that music, I just get crazy. Welcome to another episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. You know what? Before we started, I was listening to this song that Jason had. You know I'm gonna say it. You can hate me now. And two of my guests are truly legendary. And believe me, they know that word, you can hate me now. Especially when you're playing football. Everybody wants to be the man. You know, as a young guy playing football myself, you always have those, what I call the gods, the guys that knew how to throw the football, the guys that knew how to run the football, the guys that really made the difference. I call them the guys of the NFL. And I am privileged today to have on my show two of my all-time favorites, Mr. Ickey Woods from the Ickey Shuffle Cincinnati Bengals, and one of the best running backs that probably ever played the game, high school, college, the NFL, the USFL, my man, Mr. American Nightmare himself, Marcus Dupree. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, brother. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it, man. Appreciate being on with you.
Yeah, your check is in the mail, too, for all that, you know.
Ickey, where's my check?
Hey, he wasn't far off. He wasn't far off at all, boy. You know that, boy. You was the thing, boy, back in the day, baby. We both was, man. We had some fun playing the game, man. That's what
No doubt, brother. No doubt. No doubt.
You know, I was telling these guys that the purpose of the show is that beast frame of mind, and I'm always looking for entertaining guests, but not just entertaining guests, but guests that have overcome adversity and still to this day is making a difference, not only in their own careers and their own families, but impacting the masses. And let's start with you, Ickey. I mean, you're from California. I remember watching the University of Nevada Rebels playing, and I remember hearing that name, Ickey, and I was like, who in the heck is Ickey Woods?
Oh, yeah. Well, man, my birth-given name, you know, my government handle was Elbert. My grandfather named me, and my mom said she cried when he named me. He wanted to name one of his grandbabies because he ain't never named one, and he stuck me with the label Elbert. So I was one, my older brother was two, and he couldn't pronounce Elbert, so he used to call me E all the time. So in order to make it simple for him, my mother started calling me Ickey, and it's kind of ironic. We grew up Cokie and Ickey. His name was Cokie, my name was Ickey. So it stuck. You know, I was in high school, man, and I was running that ball, man, and had a great game, and seen that Ickey in Ickey Woods, you know, rush for 210 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And boy, and that was all it took, man. I said, oh, yeah, we're going to stick with Ickey, man. We're going to stick with it.
So, Ickey, how is the competition in California? You know, you really don't hear a lot about football players coming out of California. So, was it big in your community? Was football really big in your community?
Yeah, football, the whole state of California got some good ball players come up out of there, man. Don't do us like that,
man.
Come on now. Cut that out, man. Cut it out, man. We done had some dogs come out of Cali, man. You know me, Henry Elliott, Tim McDonald. You know, we done had some dogs come out that thing, man.
Okay.
But you know, it's not as big as as Texas and all those, Oklahoma and all those states though. They do football year round. You know, football is starting to be a year round thing anyway.
Right.
But yeah, man, we had a couple of dogs come out of there. Randall Cunningham is from California too, man. So we had a few come out of there and grace their presence in the NFL. So it's a good thing. Sam Bam Cunningham, Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
Niggas from Cali, man. So we had a few guys come up from out that way, man. But it's football is all around sport, man, and you get them from all walks of life, man, from every corner of the country, man, because kids love to play that game, man. And us growing up, man, that was our way out, man. Our way to get out of the ghetto, the poverty, man. And we was blessed. At least I was blessed with the talent to play football, and I was able to do something with it and get myself out of the situation. Was
your family real supportive of you playing football? Did you have a supporting cast?
Yeah, I had a supporting cast, and I had a lot of prayers, man. Because I was a hard head thing coming up, man. I dabbled a little bit in trying to do that gang thing, selling drugs, and man, because it was what I knew, man. It was the environment that I grew up in, and we all try to cater to that environment that we in, man, to try to get out. And like I said, I was fortunate enough to be blessed with the talent to play football, and and that got me out of my situation. I was able to go off to college, the UNLV, and my senior year ended up leading the nation in rushing and was the first player taken in the second round by the Cincinnati Bengals, man. So I was one of the fortunate ones to get out, and and I try to go back and talk to the kids and let them know that there is a different way than what they see on a day-to-day basis.
What was the light that clicked that you said you naturally was got involved in the gang activity, the drugs? When was the moment that light clicked and you said, what, there has to be something better for me out here?
Well, it was when my best homie got killed, man. I was going into my senior year, and a guy by the name of Andre Horn, which is like a brother to me, man. And to be honest with you, bro, I was getting ready to quit school, man, and dabble a little bit in the game, man. And my boy got shot 19 times, and they cut his throat. And I said, no, that ain't the way for me. So I went and did the football thing, and then I had a new running back coach come in by the name of John Montgomery, showed me that he cared about me as a human being and not just a football player. And we were able to went in and sat down and talked to him, and he just asked me a simple question. He said, "Son, do you want to play in the NFL one day?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." I said, "What college player don't want to play in the NFL?"
Right.
He said, "Well, I tell you what, son, you give me 110% and you do everything I tell you to do, I guarantee you be a first and second round draft choice." And I looked at this guy like, man, this guy I just met this guy. I don't know this guy from Adam. But I said, what you got to lose, man? You got 1 year left. Just you tried it your way for the last 3 years. It didn't work. Let's try something else. And I ended up doing it his way, man. And like I said, we led the nation in rushing, and I was the first player taken in the second round.
How important was that speech or that mentor to you as far as moving ahead in your career?
I think it was very important, man, because you got a guy who comes in and say, hey, we're going to start from square one. I don't care what people said about you. They wasn't really saying nice things about you, but I'm going to start at square one. We're going to go from right here. We're going to move forward. And I want to let you know that I believe in you. I think you can get it done. You, my ride or die. Let's make it happen. And, and he came in and showed that he not only did he care about me as a football player, he cared about me as an individual, and I think that was the most important thing is, most college kids, when they go out to college, they're just a number, and sometimes they treat you like a number. Mm-hmm. But this guy came in and showed that he cared about me as a person and not as a football player, and I think that that's what got me over the edge, is that, hey, man, this guy really cares about me. He's just not trying to use me to play football.
What do you think was your best season? Was it your senior year?
Yeah, so senior year was basically my only season, actually, because before that, man, I was there for 3 years, and I think I rushed for about a total of 400 yards, man. I had a big game in the California Bowl my freshman year. We rolled the back of Randall Cunningham to the California Bowl that year, and I got a chance to play in the big game. Tony Lewis, who was our starting fullback, had hurt his back, and I got a chance to come in as a freshman. And actually, we played that in my hometown of Fresno.
Right.
So I had a chance to come in and score a touchdown in the California Bowl in my hometown, man. That was unbelievable.
Why do you think it took to your senior year to really to blossom? Was it because you wasn't given a lot of opportunities, or you just the what the coaches told you all of a sudden just registered? It's like, now is my time to get this done.
No, man, I think it was hard-headedness, man. I was trying to do shit my way, and excuse my language. I was trying to do stuff my way instead of their way, man. So it was it took me a while to understand that, you know, you can't do it your way. You got to do it their way, because if you don't do it their way, you're not gonna play. So it took me to my senior year to understand that, you know, because I was still thugging, man, and I hadn't made my mind up yet that I really wanted to be a football player. I knew I could play football. I was a thug playing football. I wasn't a football player trying to be a thug, you know. So when I finally, you know, got my head on straight, and like I said, with my homeboy being killed, man, it kind of let me know that the thug life wasn't for me. It was time for me to buckle it down and, you know, take the football thing serious.
Marcus, can you relate to any of the stuff that Ickey's talking about?
Oh, no doubt, man. You know, you see tons of kids today probably go through. I mean, most athletes go through the same thing, especially, like you say, he was thugging out there. You got kids nowadays, and being from hard time Mississippi, bro, we trying to make it. We trying to figure out a way how to get out of our situation. I mean, you got tons of athletes that come out of Mississippi. At one time, we were rated the number one, I guess, for the population, the capital. We had the most NFL players that are from Mississippi per capita. I mean, I got 60 guys living around me right now that are ex-NFL players that live around my neighborhood right now. So I can feel where he's coming from. I understand it. I preach that same situation to my grandkids that are being recruited right now. You know, this is the way to move your life forward. Keep it going, stay positive, and it's the way to get out of the hood.
Take the viewers, Marcus, down a little bit down your road, like Ickey just did, from, you know, going to high school and the transition going into to college. We won't talk about you guys' NFL career right now. We're just talking about going from the high school, the transition into college, and who actually, because your path was a little bit different, Marcus. You had a lot of people pulling at your strings. You was the number one recruit in the country. So take me down that a little bit.
Well, you know, coming up as a young kid in Mississippi, watching the New Orleans Saints, we always wanted to be want to be in that, you know, being fans of the Saints, and Archie Manning being from Mississippi, you know, everybody wanted to play for the Saints. But we knew we had to do certain things that we had to go through. Like I say, being in Mississippi is a poor, was at one time, and probably, you know, kind of still is a poor state. Mm-hmm. And people, you know, you got to find a way to get out of the situation you're in. I just happen to be blessed to have not just one person being in my life, but I had a whole village where I live. I mean, all my friends that I grew up with and talk to today, we had good mamas that would push us and got us where we need to be. Good grandmamas who washed our clothes and made sure that we got to practice on time. Mm-hmm. When I came through my hometown of Philadelphia, we just had a great situation that I was blessed to be a part of. Just being in Boy Scout, keeping us busy, playing, because I played baseball. A lot of people don't know I played baseball. I played baseball. I played basketball. I ran track. I mean, my mom was a school teacher. My grandfather was a minister. So they kept us busy. And I was blessed to have that village that the kids don't really have that today back in my hometown. So it was just blessed to have a village. And then I ended up getting a good coach who came in and started coaching there, Coach Wood, who'd been a part of a winning program at Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and they produced a lot of athletes out of that high school. So he came over and we ran in Wishbone, and then the rest of it was history, man. He put us in the right situation to win, and like Ickey was talking about, he cared about us as a person. I talk to my coach right now. I go to his house. I eat dinner with him. I mean, he took us around. He took us to colleges. He made sure that we was on the right path all the time and stayed positive in what we were doing.
I'm at either you or Ickey can answer this. How important was those two figures in high school, and what was the difference between the figures in high school versus the role models? You or Ickey can answer this when you transition into college, because there's a difference between being the #1 recruit versus getting a scholarship and going to college. You're #1, everybody's tugging at you, so they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear. So tell the viewers what that was like for both you and Ickey when it was time to go and into the college rankings.
You want me to go first, Ickey?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Yeah, because you had them tugging at you. I didn't have them tugging like you did.
So, at the time, Beast, I was just, just a kid, this old country boy trying to make it, just making sure that my mom didn't have to pay for me to go to college.
Yeah.
My friends, once again, we all had the same mindset. We got to do this so our moms don't have to pay for us to go to college.
Right.
So we did whatever it took, however it took, whenever we need to go to play ball, we did it. I mean, I don't play it in cow pastures. I don't play it on the street, whatever. We was making sure that we are prepared to make the move so our parents didn't have to play. I mean, they had to pay for us to go to college, basically.
Ickey?
Yeah, same here. Mine was a little different because like I said, I had a couple of good years, and my senior year was a good year. I didn't have anybody there to kind of tell me that when a college send you a letter, you're supposed to send a questionnaire back. So I had a whole box full of questionnaires that I never sent back to any colleges. I would go and get my box and look at all these schools sending me the questionnaire, and nobody told me that I had to send those back to let those schools know that I was interested in maybe coming there. But I did have I actually wanted to go to Fresno State, which is my hometown, the college in my hometown. But the head coach at the time wasn't giving in-town kids scholarship, and so UNLV came in and they recruited me very heavily, and then when I went to the trip to Vegas, baby, I was sold, man. This is where I'm going right here, boy. They showed the brother a nice time, and I was actually able to get down there. And as you go and you learn, you learn what not to do and what you can do. And so you knew when you went to school in Vegas that you couldn't live there and try to gamble and do anything like that. So you kind of stayed away from the Strip. The biggest thing about Vegas, man, is every weekend it was a whole different scene, because you have people coming in every weekend, different scene, and it was just, and the Strip was great, man. It was just a wonderful place to play, and then we had the basketball team, what was off the chain with Jerry Tarkanian, man.
You guys were monsters, man. That basketball, man.
Oh man, they were off the chain. But on my recruiting trip, they took me in to see Jerry Tarkanian because he was the big wig on campus, and so he was helping with recruiting the guys, and and the basketball team was well known. And you would go into his office. He's got that big old elaborate office. You walk in there and be in awe. And then he say, "Son, we trying to build a football program here, and we want you to be a part of that."
Yeah.
And when he said that, man, I'm sold. Okay, let's make it happen, baby. Let's make it happen. So it was a fun time, man. To go there, and was there for 4 years. And like I said, was fortunate enough my senior year to lead the nation in rushing and be able to make it to the NFL.
Marcus, you also shared some of the same tragedies that Ickey just had, the loss of a good friend that kind of changed and impacted your life as well. Can you share with us a little bit about that struggle that you went through?
Well, when I was going to, you talking about lately or?
No, when you guys were going, before your transition or into college, I think we talked about it a little bit. You had lost one of your good friends.
Well, that was this past year. Now, it wasn't back, I didn't lose anybody when we came through high school and in the college. That was just like last year with my best friend that we grew up from the neighborhood.
Okay.
But I'm like Ickey. When I went to Oklahoma, I was doing all these trips, going everywhere, being the #1 player in the country. I'm still a naive country boy. I'm just glad to be on the team, glad to be part of what we're doing, glad to be in the just in the number. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I still didn't realize I was the #1 player in the country. I was just, like, at the end of the day, making sure my mom didn't have to pay for me to go to school. That's all that mattered to me. When I went to Oklahoma, went to Texas, all I'm going to tell you is the same thing. But what stuck out to me about Oklahoma, because at that time they had a black quarterback. And
Jamel Holloway?
I always watched that. They had J.C. Watts. Before that was Thomas Lott. I looked at that part because black quarterbacks wasn't really mentioned back then. Mm-hmm. And so the opportunity to be able to come and play at the University of Oklahoma and be a part of Coach Switzer even had that swag. He was talking that crap and we'll put a half 100 on you, keep on playing around with us at halftime. He could relate to a lot of the black players. He grew up around black people, so that kind of brought me to Oklahoma, just being a part of that tradition too.
Marcus, when you realize that you are the #1 player, the #1 recruit, when did it click and what happened? How did you change?
Hey, bro, it never did click.
Really?
I'm telling you, I always felt like I had something to prove. I always felt like every day I got to get better. I went to Oklahoma so I could find out how good I could be. Right. I wanted to play with other talented people. I wanted to be pushed. I went to Oklahoma. They had 10 running backs ahead of me, and so most of the time freshmen at that time didn't even make the team. They didn't even play on the. You had the red shirt.
Right.
So I was gonna make up in my mind. The first scrimmage against we had a scrimmage. The first 2 weeks there, we had a scrimmage, and I'm 14 tailback. So I'm going against the #1 defense in the country at that time. I said, well, if I can run against these boys, I know I can play. And I think I had like 9 carries, 150 yards against the first team defense. Oh, I said, yeah, I can play in this league. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
So the question goes like this. Okay, so we know we can play now. So now, Ickey, take us down that path as we move forward here. Take us down that path. Now your dreams come true, because now, Ickey, your coach is telling you the prophecy is about to happen. It's time to get ready for the NFL, and your coach says, hey, this is where you want to go. And the same thing goes to you, Marcus. When does the preparation change?
It doesn't really change. It just gets, you just intensified a little bit. You're getting ready to go to that next level. So, you gotta intensify it, because once you get to that next level, everybody's good. Talent doesn't slack off once you get to the pro level. So you got 53 players and everybody at that level can play. So, you have to increase your intensity. So when you get up there, and the greatest thing about me is when I got to the Bengals ran almost the same offense that I ran when I was in college. They just had different terminology. So I just had to learn the different terminology, but we basically ran the same plays, because I came from a one-back offense where we had the running back in the backfield, and we had an H-back out there. And when I got to the Bengals, they inquired that same thing, and so it was fairly easy for me to transition, because we sort of ran the same offense, and so all I had to do was learn the different terminologies and audibles that go along with that. And once you get to that next level, you have to be able to comprehend the audibles, because you can go in with one play and then a couple of words can change the whole play.
Right. Marcus, what about you?
Same thing, basically. I went to the USFL first. I was a 19-year-old kid playing with men. Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, people think football players are dumb. You got to understand the freaking audibles when you go in the game and know who you got to pick up at all times. Like you said, one word can change the whole play in the game. You go in one, like you said, when you go in with one play, you go in the hole and you just say one play, the quarterback goes up to the line of scrimmage. He started throwing out names and colors and numbers, and the crowd is cheering. You got to understand that you got to stay focused,
right?
Because if you miss one block, you can get the quarterback killed or miss the whole play up. So a lot of I get pissed when you got some few dumb players out there, true, but to be a football player, you got to have some doggone smarts about you, especially when you move up to the league, to the NFL or the USFL or the CFL. You can't be sitting like a knot on a log. You got to understand what's going on at all times.
Now,
and that's why a lot of you see a lot of talented players who really didn't get to touch the field because they couldn't comprehend, man. They couldn't catch the audibles. That reminds me of a kid we had down here in Cincinnati, Reggie Rimber. You remember the wide receiver out of West Virginia?
Yeah.
I mean, just a specimen of a receiver, man. But he didn't get a chance to really touch the field because he couldn't get the terminology and the audibles and everything. So he was out there and they would audible to a different play, and he'd still run the play that was called in the huddle. So, so there was a lot of talented guys who just didn't touch the field because they didn't have the capacity to comprehend what was going on. And football players are not dumb. We do have some, but for the most part, you got to have some intelligence to play the game.
No doubt. And that's what Ickey, I scouted with the Redskins and scouted in the CFL, and I always got people coming up to me, but why this kid didn't get drafted? Why this person didn't get drafted? And I always tell them it's always a reason why they don't get drafted. It's always a reason why that kid doesn't start on Sunday or Saturday, because you guys don't see, most people don't see the practice during the week. And if the kid can't think or comprehend, like you said, he ain't stepping on the field. And but like I say, it's always a reason why a kid don't get drafted or a kid is not playing. So I tell a lot of parents that you just can't look on Saturday or Sunday. You got to understand the preparation going on during the week.
On the week, right. Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you guys a question. We talking about the NFL. Ickey, you were setting the trend as far as statements after touchdowns, long before there was a prime time and so forth. Jason, show that clip. Tell me how this came about. This Ickey shuffle.
Ickey Woods with his second touchdown of the day.
Man, I tell you, man, I was sitting at home, and I had flew my mom in for a game against the Cleveland Browns, man. And at the time, my two oldest kids were 5 and 2.
Right.
And I just got up, man, and I started acting silly. And I was like, Mom, if I score tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do. She's like, boy, you better not do that. I said, Mom, I got to. So it just started off where I just jumped in the air, man, just kind of put my hands in between my legs like that. And Ricky Dixon, who was our first-round draft choice, he was like, Woods, what was that? I said, oh, Rick, that was my celebration dance. He was like, man, that stuff was whack. I was like, what you mean whack, Rick? He's like, yeah, man, that was whack. I said, so what you think I ought to do, Rick? You think I ought to put some steps to it, man? He was like, yeah, it put some steps to it. So, man, the whole week I'm thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And then 5 minutes before it was time to go out and get warm up, the shit just hit me. I said, Rick, check this out. This is what I'm going to do today if I score. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to hop back 3 times and spike the ball. He was like, oh, yeah, man, that's going to be live. That's going to be live. And, I tell everybody, man, I was fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time. We were winning ball games, and we ended up making it to the Super Bowl that year, man. I think that's really one of the main reasons that it caught on, because if I was on a losing team, it probably would have never caught on. I was just by the grace of God in the right place at the right time, and it just
That's it, bro.
it just took off, man. It just took off. I never in my wildest dreams did I think that thing was gonna take off the way it did, man. I was just trying to find something to do for our home crowd. If you go back and look at all the ones that I did, it was always in the jungle, man. I never did it away from home because it was for our crowd,
So, Ickey, what made you decide to stay in Cincinnati? I mean, clearly you're an icon in Cincinnati, but what was some of the main reasons that you decided to make Cincinnati your home?
Well, like I said, I'm from California, man, and the cost of living, man, is crazy there. Right. At the time that I was released, though, from the Bengals, Cincinnati was the #1 place to raise a family, and at that time, I was married with 4 kids, and the opportunities here were a lot more lucrative for me here because I played here. So we just decided to stay put, man. I looked at going back to California, man, but at the time that I did that, I think taxes were like 11%,
right.
And I could get a $250,000 home here that cost me $1.5 million in California. So I said I got more bang for my buck here in Ohio, man. So I just decided to stay.
Hold that thought, Ickey, about family. We're gonna come back to you, Marcus. Let's talk about some highlights that you have. What are some of the most memorable highlights that you have that you remember, whether it be college?
We ain't got time enough in this show for all his highlights, man. That boy got so many highlights, man. We live to run all the time.
You know what? That's why I said
let Marcus go. Let him know, baby boy.
Hey, so I guess the first highlight would be my first touchdown against Texas. That's in the Red River Shootout. Coach Switzer calls me over to the sideline, and so he calls a play, and then I start back to the huddle, and he calls me back over, and he go, "Big boy, keep it," because it's supposed to be a reverse to Steve Sewell, who played for the Broncos for a long time.
Right.
It's supposed to be a reverse to him, and so he didn't know I was going to keep it, so he's looking for the ball. I keep the ball, go around the end, 75 yards. The rest is history.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of my biggest moments, I guess. Against Nebraska, I had pneumonia, and a couple of days before we played them right after Thanksgiving, and I get out of the hospital, and I come straight to the game, and I still had 144 yards against Nebraska, which they had like 4 or 5 first-round picks on that team. I mean, they had big Remington. I think Remington played up there at Cincinnati.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Remington was up in Cincinnati.
Boys, man. I mean, when they came on the field, I was standing on I was a freshman at that time, and they came on the field. I'm standing in the middle of the field on the 50-yard line, and when they came out on the field, my freaking helmet started shaking on my head. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, this big time right here.
Big boys, yes sir, yes sir.
Big time. But I had some great times in New Orleans. I guess going down there and getting ready to sign with the Breakers, they took me around, took my mom around in one of those carriages with the white horses and all that. So that made me feel, like I was on heaven, being able to see my mom, my little brother, riding around downtown New Orleans. So, hey, we could be here all day, really. But I want to tell Ickey, my boy was Ricky Dixon.
Yeah, Ricky D, man. Yeah, I know, man. You know, me and Rick D came out together, man. We played a couple of All-Star games, He was the first-round draft choice. I was the second that year, man. Oh, okay. Here in Cincinnati, yeah.
That was up, man.
Yeah, so me and Rick got to be real cool, man. Real good brother, man. Real good brother.
No doubt, man.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. He just passed last year.
Yeah, man. I hate that too. Yeah, that was my cat, man.
And it's coming.
That boy was clean all the time, wasn't he?
You can't tell Ricky Dick nothing, boy. I tell you what. Man.
Yeah, that sucker dress, boy. Ricky D stayed clean all the time, baby.
Ricky Dick.
Yes, sir.
Marcus, I'm gonna ask a question. What was it like? Because you was the first millionaire, right? Pretty much.
I guess you would say I started the big contracts, and then Herschel came back in the USFL and started his. Then Then Steve Young got a big contract. So I guess you could say I was the one. At 19 years old, $6 million contract was unheard of back then.
Yeah, unheard of. Yeah, no doubt.
Ickey, what was it like when you got your contract?
It wasn't as big as that, I can tell you that much. But it was good though, man. It was good. I think I was the first player taken in the second round, and at that time, I think I had got the biggest contract of a second round, and I think it was a $3 million. I mean, it was 3 years for 1.6, I think it was.
1.6 mil.
It was big. It was big at that time, but like I said, it wasn't big as Dupree's goddamn.
Hey, but you know they say they bringing the USFL back.
Oh, is that right? Okay. So, and I ain't mad at that, man, because that'll give more guys an opportunity to get jobs, man. You know?
That's what I'm looking at, man. That's why.
Okay, so you're looking at.
I'm not gonna mention the name who caused the USFL to go, but all you gotta do is go back and look at the 30 for 30 small potatoes who killed the USFL.
Oh, you already know that.
I think it might have been our ex-president.
Yeah, it was that crazy some Bun, you know.
Yeah.
We can say his name on here. It's fine. He can't do nothing to me.
Right.
So, hey.
That was a great league. It produced a lot of good players that came from that league back into the NFL. I was hoping maybe it will, and maybe I might be just talking out of turn, but I think if the NFL put some money into the USFL, I think it can be like a AAA team. People love football down in the South year round. I know we had a great time in New Orleans, man. The New Orleans Saints. We had the New Orleans Saints. We had the New Orleans Breakers, and the fans in Louisiana loved it. We average about 45 to 50,000 people every game.
Well, what about USF Europe, the Europe League?
Well, people in Europe, they like football, but they ain't gonna like it like they do over here in the United States. Right. And that was a long way. Most of the people over there probably didn't even know who those players were. So you keep it in the United States where people are recognizable. The families are gonna show up. The fans from the colleges are gonna show up, and I just think you keep it here in the United States. I think it'll be better. I didn't think NFL. I know what they were trying to do, probably trying to get a team over in Europe, but that still didn't make sense to me.
All right, we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. There's like a few more questions to ask. I'm gonna go back to Ickey. Ickey, talk about your family for a little bit. You now have you have a foundation. Tell me a little bit about the foundation and its purpose, and a little bit about your family and how how close your family support is to you.
Okay, I've always had a great family support, man. With me, especially on my mom's side of the family, my dad's side my dad wasn't always there, so I kind of grew up in a one parent home, and I was with my mom and my brother, and then my mom had 6 sisters and 1 brother, so we were, like I said, I had a lot of people praying for me, and all of those were praying for me. And me, myself, I ended up having 6 kids. I had 3 boys and 3 girls. Real proud grandfather of 7, soon to be 8.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And I actually lost my middle son to asthma 10 years ago. And I started a foundation in his name called the Ickey Woods Foundation. And what I do now is I go around the country raising money for asthma research and asthma education to educate especially our people on how severe and serious asthma really is. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know asthma could kill, because I didn't know, and I grew up with asthma, and I never knew that asthma could kill until it took my baby from me. And then I started doing some research on it, and come to find out asthma is the fastest growing disease in America. Since 1980, asthma has risen 80% in the kids from the age of being born to the age 19. And a real alarming statistic that just kind of blew me out the water is that 11 people a day die from asthma. Man, I couldn't couldn't understand that. And so we started the foundation, hopefully one day to find a cure. If not to find a cure, hopefully find a better way to treat asthma so we're not losing so many people. But it's been a adventure, and we're still working hard every day. It's been rough, not only for me, but I guess for everybody. Since we went through this pandemic, man, we wasn't able to do fundraising because we wasn't able to do any social distancing and things of that nature. That's how we do a lot of our fundraisers, by social gathering.
Right.
You know, so hopefully that chapter is behind us and we can move forward and get back on track to raising money. And if you want to take a look at the foundation, it's Jovante, and that's spelled Jovante, Woods Foundation.org is the website.
I think we got that put up in the background.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
get that
cool.
put up in the background. So, Ickey, are you available for like public appearances and outside of the foundation?
Yeah,
and they can reach you at the same place.
We're always willing to do personal appearances. You know, speak to kids, crowds. It don't matter. You just let me know what you need me to touch on, and we'll make it happen.
Hey, I'm gonna tell the viewers this, and briefly. When I went to Cincinnati, I think in 1996, I wound up being a school teacher. Ickey, this is tripped out. The first person I asked to meet was you.
Okay.
When I got to Cincinnati, I was like, "Hey, I don't want to see nobody but Ickey Woods." And everybody's like, "Oh, he's around. You'll see him."
Oh yeah. Wasn't one to hide, man. You know. So,
what I can honestly say that I like about you is I followed your career. I remember your senior year. That's when I heard about you. I followed you, and I was like, man, this dude. I already knew you was gonna go to the NFL. There was no questions about it. My thing is, I wish you had went to the Cowboys. How does that make you feel that if you had to go to a team, and I'm gonna ask Marcus this too, what team did you really want to go to when you got that chance to go to the NFL? You don't have a choice on who picks you, but you know who you want to go to.
Oh yeah, man. You know, I'm a diehard Raider fan, man.
Okay.
I grew up on the Raiders, being from California, man. So I actually wanted to go to the Raiders, man, and I thought they were going to take me. Well, if the Bengals wouldn't have took me to, I think they had like 4 picks after the Bengals. If the Bengals wouldn't have took me at the 31st, they were going to take me like 35 or 36, and then I actually thought I was going to the Bears, but they took Brad Mustard out of Stanford.
Yeah, I remember him. Marcus, what about you? What team did you want to go to? Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think we lost. He said he was a big Saints fan coming up.
Oh, okay.
So everybody wanted to be a Saints back where he was from. So I think he probably wanted to be a Saint. He probably chimed back in here and probably just lost connection.
So, Ickey, with the foundation and your son, have there been any research done, any advancements in the asthma quest?
It's getting better, man. We're they are starting to have more preventive type measures where they have some medicine that once you get it under control, you can take this medicine and kind of keep it preventative, kind of keep it under control. So they're in a process of getting that together, and then they have spacers and things that we try to go to our community, and people who can't afford the medicine or the spacers, we try to provide that for them as well.
During the pandemic, there's been a lot of, like you said, problems that we're facing, from racial tension to healthcare to you name it, it's out there. What would you do different to help soothe, or what words of comfort could you give the people right now, now that we are able to go back out and socialize? Is there any positive things you can tell people right now?
I think the most important thing, my brother, is education. if we can educate people on, what to do in a certain situation, or, what to look for and what they can do in case something happened. Most people don't know.
Right.
And if you don't know and you're not educated about what to do, you can lose somebody, right there in front of your face, man. So, and I think that's the most important thing is getting out and educating, people in general, but our people more frequently, man, because we just don't know.
Ickey, I'm going to ask you one last question. Leave something very vital to the community and to the world as we move forward into 2021.
I would say, man, it's just, it's going to be hard, but just love the next person, man, and just try to encourage and uplift people, man. We got too much hate in the world going on right now. We're so divided as a race and culture, black against white, Orientals against whites, Orientals against black. We just not, they call us the big melting pot, but we're not the big melting pot, man, because we got so much hate going on right now, brother. I think we just need to try to get away from the hate, man, and love each other and just be human about it, brother. That's all I can say to people, man. Just be a decent human being to everybody and treat everybody like you'd like to be treated.
That sounds totally awesome. I appreciate you coming onto the show, man. I mean, you've been truly great. Thanks for working with me. You're definitely one of my idols. It's almost like, the power of prayer. If you put it out there, it happens. And I've always asked for the opportunity to meet you, to have you pretty much as one of my friends. And I'm really blessed that you allowed me the opportunity to interview you today on the show.
Right. It's all good, man. Anytime we can talk positive, man, and bring some light to the situation that's going on, brother, I'm all about that.
I used to live in Cincy, though. I used to live in Beachmont.
Oh, you was out in the Beachmont area, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly where you was at.
Lived in Beachmont, and actually
I was out there. I used to live out in Eastgate too.
Real. I was actually a school teacher there.
I was out there by the Eastgate Mall, man. I was out in that Beachmont area for a little bit too. Out there, Batavia area.
Yeah. I used to train in Batavia, but I taught school in Ezra Charles over off of in St. Joseph's and I think it's called St. Monica's.
Okay.
So I was school teacher there for like five years, but I commuted every day from Minneapolis to Cincinnati. And everybody's like, you drive from back and forth? I was like, it's about the kids.
That's like the hour and 15 minutes, ain't it? One way.
Look, you're not in the car with me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you drive like me then.
Yeah.
We turned it about 50 minutes then.
Yeah, I turned it down real quick. We'd like to thank Marcus. I'm sorry we lost him for being on the show.
Too.
I'm really glad I get to connect you two, because I can see a lot of memories and so forth that you guys had.
Definitely.
So, Ickey, we're going to
get off here, man. Why don't you shoot me his digits, man, so I can keep in contact with the brother.
I will definitely do that. And you know what? We're going to have you back on the show. And I'll be in Cincinnati. We got to go eat some food in Cincinnati somewhere.
Let's do it, brother. Let's do it. They got a gang of spots we can go, man. I know you had the Montgomery and ribs. I know you had them.
Before we go, yeah, I've eaten there. They bought that here in Indianapolis.
Oh, did they? Okay.
But for some reason, they was bringing the food in fresh, and they couldn't keep up with it. And I think it lasted for less than a year. And I'm like, look, you need to really go to the Montgomery Inn that's in Cincinnati. You can't bring that to Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the one, the only Cincinnati Bengals, UNLV Rebel, Mr. Ickey Albert Woods on the Andre The Beast Show.
Yes, sir. That's me, baby. Appreciate you, dog.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.